For this video, I'm going to be reacting to Big Tugg. For this video, I'm going to be reacting to Big Tugg, Am I Cult Leader. For this video, okay, so I'm going to be reacting to Big Tugg, Am I Cult Leader. Wow, why Big Tugg? Yeah, Big Tugg. I haven't watched Big Tugg in a couple months. It's been like 3-4 months, honestly. I haven't watched Big Tugg in a couple months, so I'm gonna be watching this video. Okay, intro time. If you want to support me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow my Twitch, follow my Instagram. Both links will be in the description. If you want to support me another way, membership is $2.99, $4.99. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I will more than likely see it. If you have any more video recommendation or song recommendation, song, not album. If you have a song recommendation, let me know. With that being said, let's get right into this video by Big Tugg. Big Tugg. Big Tugg. Holy. That's impressive.
Hello, children! Welcome to the fantabulous world of Extra Tugg, full of educational and children-friendly content. That's definitely what this is, so come on in. It's only $4 a month, and it's a lot of fun perks. Chris, why would you put that on the screen? You're ruining it. You're ruining it for everybody.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get water. I'll be right back. Stay hydrated.
Cults. We're obsessed with them, but not as obsessed as the people in the cults. Boy, how did they have it bad. But with cults, you're pretty much either in one or you're watching a 4-part documentary about one. The definition of a cult seems incredibly simple. It's a small group of people with strange shared beliefs who impose massive amounts of control over their members. And I don't want to point fingers, but Taylor Swift's, I don't know, might be.
Life after Taylor. Former Swifties reveal why they left a toxic fandom. Fans of Taylor Swift are notoriously die-hard, but growing numbers are re-evaluating their relationships with the singer and distancing themselves from the toxic side of the fandom. Okay.
Might be a criminal. While a loose definition of cults can describe everything from fandom to most religions, there's a crucial component of the most dangerous and deadly cults: the bad intentions of a charismatic leader. And let's not get political. Cult leaders are almost always narcissists who demand loyalty while manipulating followers for personal gain. And look, I know what you guys are thinking. Tucker, wouldn't that make you a cult leader?
Planned Parenthood offers birth control online. You'll have a visit with a provider and we can see you in person if needed. Planned Parenthood is in-network for most insurance.
Nutty ad placement.
When rehearsal overlapped with my Christmas movies, I didn't get mad.
I don't know. Oh, maybe. I see how the promise of overtly sexual long-form content over on Extra Tugg for $4 a month might seem a bit culty. And sure, the weekly video seems like I'm getting up in front of you guys and delivering a sermon of sorts. Preaching, if you will. Oh, and I did give you guys a name. Well, I didn't give you guys that name. I don't know who gave that name, but you guys do have a
Tugglets.
name, which is the Tugglets. That's definitely, yeah, this is looking bad. But this isn't a
Yeah, I
cult.
watch his videos.
For legal and personal reasons. This isn't a cult, right? It's not like you guys worship me, except for a few of you in the Discord, and a lot of you guys comment when I post a video that you're tugging it to me, which that's on me. I made my career out of a dick joke, but I don't know. That's some form of worship. But look, overall, I promise you that I personally am not trying to run a cult. That's not my forte. So I'm gonna dispel the rumors once and for all. This is not a cult, and I'm not a cult leader, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Tugglets, today's sermon.
That iPad looks so sexy. I low-key want it. Also, I have an iPad, but it's not that iPad.
Teaching. Today's video is about cults. This is not a cult. It's true that within the world of academia, the term cult is highly contested. Many sociologists prefer the term like new religious movement or movement group because cult has a negative connotation. You think? You think, dog? When I hear the term cult, I think of demons and people eating babies. So yes, it has a little bit of a negative connotation if I do say so myself. But please don't take this the wrong way because I actually believe that education is a crucial part of a healthy society, but sometimes academia has their heads so far up their own asses that they're gassing themselves out. In this case, they point to religions like Scientology that started as fringe new religions, making the claim that they have evolved from their initial cult status into the accepted definition of a religion. But Tugglets beware. The practical
What is a religion? Like, what does it take to actually be considered a religion? I'm not gonna look it up, but that's a good question.
application of this approach squashes skepticism under the guise of the ever so dangerous freedom of religion. Goal, and that allows cults to normalize their crazy teachings just overall. And
Christianity is a cult. I don't care what nobody tells me. Christianity is a cult.
this very touchy and confusing area of the law allows enough time for these cults to take their
Do you want to know? Oh my. Okay. Listen, I'm so off topic. I'm gonna talk about this for a little bit, but hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. There are 3 types of Christians. People who don't consider themselves a Christian but believe in God and Jesus. People who consider themselves a Christian and worship
crazy practices and make them legitimate over time. But you know who really appreciates this less skeptical approach? Cult leaders. Big fans of people not pointing fingers at them. That's because these charming, charismatic, quote-unquote prophets need a veneer of authenticity to attract followers. And they almost always use the same playbook to get people in the ropes, to get them in the nets, the big cast nets. And that process is known as the Babel hypothesis. Not Bible, Babel. This is the theory that in groups, it's often the people who speak the most who are chosen for leadership roles. The quality of what they say doesn't matter, it's the quantity. Chris, put that down. Why'd you put that up? I'm putting out good content because people want it, not because I'm not... Why would you put that up, Chris? And a 2020 study confirmed this bias. Of course, the Babel hypothesis isn't unique to cults. We've all experienced a coworker or classmate who was elevated into some leadership role because they couldn't shut the hell up. However, it is a significant tool for cult leaders to establish authority. Just jabbering, just yibber-yabbing, just clucking like a hen. And people all of a sudden want to have sex with you. It's fantastic. For example, Jim Jones, founder of the People's Temple cult and architect of the Jonestown Massacre, would often preach incoherently but passionately.
Jones and People Temple pretty much taped his various sermons, and when you listen to those sermons, you really can't understand what's going on. First, because he will yammer on 3 or 4 hours, and within that overall framework, at some point, he will quote the Bible. He will talk about, and here's God's word, and he said this. 20 minutes later, he may be throwing the Bible down on the stage and stepping his foot on it and say, "There is no God!" Okay. Got it.
For 3 or 4 hours at a time. And Marshall Applewhite, the guy from Heaven's Gate, would just ramble on for 3 to 4 hours every day in a sermon type thing, but just talking.
If you're in a cult, you really have to be dumb. You're dumb.
These people are all mentally ill. People who talk a lot are... I don't talk that much. I talk a lot in the video.
Also, don't come after me because I said Christianity is a cult. Listen, it's just my opinion, okay? It's not a big deal.
Usually pretty quiet. Just trying to really save face right now. But on top of all that yapping, cult leaders are the ultimate opportunists. And boy howdy, do they thrive in times of uncertainty. Something that I've lived in my entire life. There has never been a certain time since 1997. Author Amanda Montell, who has studied cults extensively, says that people's attraction to cults tend to flourish during periods of larger existential questioning. So let's say, I don't know, the economy collapses, or 2 buildings fall down, or we have a national pandemic. Now this could be smaller things that like really traumatic personal experiences. It applies to people struggling with issues like deaths in the family, religious questions, or romance. It doesn't just have to be 9/11.
9/11, oh my. I was just about to say 9/11. Whenever I think of like things like this, like whenever I think of 9/11, I think of Max the Demon on one of his songs. He's like 9/11, 9/11. I was thinking of 9/11. 9/11 is quite literally the perfect thing to get people into a cult.
Moving on, cult leaders tend to manipulate and weaponize their emotional intelligence to use it against their followers. And they do this in several cunning ways. Up first is love bombing. Everyone wants to feel loved. If you don't, you're weird and emo and you're lying because you actually want your dad to hug you. This is the act of overwhelming recruits with affection and attention, which for many is the reason they're there in the first place. In the 70s, cult leader Sung Myung Moon, I think that's how you pronounce that, first used the term to describe how they treated their new members, known as Moonies. This would entail verbal praise, intense eye contact, hours of platonic hand-holding, and never being left alone. And once again, I don't fit that criteria because if one of my followers ever, subscribers. I should stop saying in this video that they're followers because that sounds bad. But if any of my subscribers touched me in public, I'd scream. I don't want to hold your hand and I don't want to make eye contact. So none of that works for me. Where I'm proving my point perfectly. Another tactic that cults use is loaded language. These groups employ loaded language as a way to create deep emotional associations with their members. Words like toxic, patriot, or genocide are all examples of loaded language, because these are words that can be used vaguely but still elicit a very strong emotional reaction out of people. Charles Manson used this technique when he took the nonsensical Beatles lyrics to Helter Skelter and claimed it was about a race war. So the next time someone on the street comes up to you and they're very charismatic and they tell you Sabrina Carpenter's calling for genocide, just know that there's a lot of red flags there and you should probably back away from that person. Now, Manson was a master manipulator. Everyone knows that. Look at him being crazy. You want to sign up for that camp, which is why he was convicted of first-degree murder, even though he never actually killed somebody. He was so charismatic and
How does that work? Wouldn't that be association, or there's a word for it. I don't remember the word.
convincing that he got charged with murder because he convinced someone else to do it. That's an insane charge.
That's nutty.
Another technique he mastered is known as thought-terminating cliché. These are phrases people use to shut down critical thinking, which is very hard to come by nowadays, critical thinking, so to shut that down is like killing a unicorn. You probably recognize some of these from your daily life, like, it is what it is, everything happens for a reason, and let's agree to disagree. These
Oh my God, I hate that word. I hate that word. Everything happens for a reason. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Some things sometimes just happen for no reason. Think of Final Destination. Who decided, hey, let's make a movie where the butterfly effect happens 100% of the time? Oh my God, you know what just happened? Wow, I was walking, there was a light, and I had to tie my shoe. Okay. I'm gonna reenact this. Okay, picture this. Final Destination, right? So I'm walking. I stop. There's a line in front of me. I stop. I realize that my shoe is untied. So I bend over and then I get bumped. This is how it's gonna go. This is how it's gonna happen. What am I gonna do with my shoe? I need to tie my shoe. Ah! Like, what are we talking about? No. Like, some phrases are so stupid. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, or like, what goes around comes around. No, it doesn't. Or what's one of this phrase? This is a great one. Um, karma, karma is a B. Like, what? I'm sorry.
shutdown arguments are perfect for a cult leader who doesn't want you questioning any authority. Hey, let's agree to disagree. Yes, I had sex with your wife. It is what it is, King. Charles Manson used to say, no sense makes sense. And if I was questioning him about, hey, I don't want to go murder this person, but if you gave me enough information, maybe I'll do it, and he said, no sense makes sense, I would say, you. Is that a swastika on your forehead? Another sweet little tactic used by cult leaders, isolation. This is a big one. It's important for cults to isolate their members. Cutting them off from their friends and family ensures their reality revolves around the cult by creating an us versus them mentality. David Koresh used this technique with the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas. Of course, this backfired in a little standoff with the FBI where a bunch of people got shot and he was shooting his gun and then he died, but started out strong. But yeah, that's just a big thing with cults. They'll isolate the out of you. I don't have a lot to say about that one, but I'm not isolating you. Go fight, go out. Go meet somebody. I don't know. I don't want to isolate you. Although I do isolate people because it's like a one-on-one thing. Watch these videos with a friend. And once you've been love-bombed, radicalized by language, had your critical thinking snuffed out, and became totally isolated, they keep you guessing, these cult leaders, by doing a little thing called shifting the goalposts. You might think you joined the group for one reason or another, but before long, you find the focus of the group or the expectations of your membership have changed. A great example of this is the NXIVM cult. I don't know if there's how I'm supposed to pronounce that, but I'm just gonna say the letters. This started as a multi-level marketing scheme that thrived on teaching leadership and self-importance, and then it morphed into a sex cult, which forced members to get the leader's initials burned into them. What is that called? Branded. You had to have sex with the leader and then you got branded by him. Crazy. ML, that Pampered Chef is a minute away from being that. The psychological manipulation of a cult doesn't end with the charismatic leader. It's also in the way a cult brands itself. It's not all about Charles Manson. What about the vibes? What about the curated vibes? Are we wearing blazers? The vibes differ from cult to cult depending on what it is that they claim to offer, but the idea folds back into reinforcing group identity and separating them from the outside world. Some cults do this by cultivating a powerful aesthetic using new age symbolism, baby. But some of these cults take it a step further and make people wear uniforms. Could you imagine that? Shifting the vibe that hard? Tucker, where you going dressing up like a little paper boy? Well, you know, I joined a group. But look, I know what you're thinking. Big Tugg. Big Tuggy Supreme. Big Tugg the Magnificent. Don't you sell merch? Doesn't that count as a little outfit that your followers can wear? Subscribers. That your subscribers can wear. And yes, yes. Yes. But I mean, I'm making you pay for them, which now I sound like a piece of shit for doing that, but I'm not giving it to you for free and telling you to put it on, you know? You have to decide for yourself to do it. That being said, there's a lot of stylish looks over on the website in the bottom right there that I'm dancing about. So, you know, you might want to tune into that, but I'm not going to make you do it. You should do it though. You should absolutely. I would love you if you did it.
But first! When I was vaping, I chose to ignore the consequences.
Bro, please.
Loaded with toxic chemicals.
Let's do an ad!
So the people who skip this ad are going to be absolutely missing out on a show, but I digress. My friends over at Balessa and I are going to be giving out free vibrators.
What?
On me. But you might be surprised at how powerful creating an appealing look can be. When a documentary about supposed Guru Bhagwan Sri Ringyej, I can't say that name, and his cult in Oregon came out in 2018.
Honestly, everybody who falls for his cult, you seriously have to be stupid. I don't care if that sounds mean. You seriously have to be stupid. Getting your initial, let me not go there. Let me not go there. I have so much to say. Let me not go there.
The fashion magazine The Cut posted an article titled, "I Want This Cult's Look." Just mind, that's your takeaway? The snazzy outfits? I bet you would have loved the Nazis. Damn, that guru that poisoned an entire community, tried to rig an election, and maybe even tried to assassinate someone? What a fashion icon. Give me them boots. Steal his style. I'd actually like to read a direct quote from the article just because it's so insane. Bhagwan wasn't just a guru, he was a style god who led arguably the most well-dressed cult in history. And for a clarification, God is spelled G-A-W-D. What attempt?
So we're now praising cult leaders. Big 25, absolute Batman, killing white supremacist. How could he kill white supremacist? What's wrong with him? Big 25. But if I was like, yo, let's hang the people who have an issue with that, because that's like blatantly weird. How could you do that? Human life is very valuable. That's just their opinion. Okay. You got it. You got me. Okay.
To be a Gen Z millennial wrote this. But to be fair, he did have a pretty vibrant style, but that kind of was the whole point. Every member dressed in monochromatic tones that were supposed to mimic the colors of the rising or setting sun. So this meant robes in shades of red, orange, and violet. They actually went through so much red clothing that a local department store employee in Oregon, his whole job was to get red clothing for these people. Which, I mean, you don't have to ask questions when you're making money hand over fist to retail, you know what I'm saying? A resident took to calling these guys the orange people, which I know that's not a slur, but doesn't it kind of feel like one? You really shouldn't be saying the word people after any given color. Just not a good look. But overall, in terms of like vibes and how to make cults look good, I just gave that guy a lot of shit for saying that cult looked good, but the Heaven's Gate people, I want to do a little side. They got designing down. I love the vibe of Heaven's Gate. But it kind of makes sense, because a part of the way the cult made money was through a graphic design business called Higher Ground. I actually talked about Heaven's Gate in my video about the early internet, and I don't know how we ended up there, but it's about the journey, not the destination. That video was wild. Actually, that was a thought-terminating cliche. Damn. I'm not a cult leader. Stop, Chris, edit that out. But yeah, everyone in Heaven's Gate shaved their head, and the men were castrated. Little less stylish. And this was all while they waited for a comet traveling behind a UFO that said they were going to take them to heaven. And I'm not here to scorch anyone's mallow. You know, I'm not here to yuck any yums, but my God, is that a crazy mentality.
Aliens aren't real. It's government propaganda.
But when they all decided to leave Earth for space and unalive themselves, they were dressed to the nines. They got diddied up to die. To start, they were all wearing these dope-ass Nike Decades, and they stopped selling them because a bunch of people died in the cult wearing them. And I would love a pair of those, dude. God, that is, I don't know if sneakerheads are going after those, but they're hard to get, and it would be so cool to wear those around. They also all had matching black jumpsuits with a patch that said Heaven's Gate Away Team. For some reason, everyone had $5.75 in their pocket. That's not enough. That's not enough. I don't know where you're going, but that's not enough. And they were also covered in a purple shroud. With that being said, being cozy and stylish as hell with a little bit of money in your pocket, that's probably exactly how I'm gonna go out, so they are niche and relatable. Hard to not join this little feverish group. Maybe I've found my cult. I mean, I'll reach out to them because they still have a working email that you can reach out to them, and sometimes they don't answer, but sometimes they do. Why do they still have a working email? Why aren't we what government? Why aren't we looking into that? But if you think Heaven's Gate sounds weird, that is a drop in the vast bucket that is weird cults. For every group that gets tons of press and podcasts made about them, hundreds are bubbling under the surface. Either they don't have high enough body counts to satisfy our bloodlust, or they're just way too whacked out and truly scare us. It's not fun to talk about cults that just eat babies. Sometimes it is, but that's not my vibe. But in terms of weird, crazy things you haven't heard about, let's talk about adonology? Adonology? Yeah. Adonitology. Adonology. We'll say that. So this is supposed to be a religion, or it might be a cult, or it just might be a dumbass internet meme. Honestly, it's hard to tell. These days, most things on the internet seem like cults to me. That is except your old pal Big Tugg, who is not a cult leader, even though you give me $4 a month. Some would call it a tithe. I call it a good business model. I'm not a cult leader, but King Adonis is. This guy, leader of the Adonolitidally, whatever it's called. Adonatology came from Adonis in a vision where he saw Jesus, an angel, and the Holy Spirit with a badonkadonk. And they told him he needs to create a religion that celebrates big butts. And goddamn, where do I sign up? Turns out Jesus was an ass man. Now, finding out anything substantial about who King Adonis is, or whether or not he has any actual followers, or if he's even serious at all, is...
A lot of people believe things like this. I remember like 2 months now, there was a Christian believer, and he was like, "Oh my God, I had a vision. I had a vision from God. God told me the reckoning was gonna happen on this day. So that means everything else in into this means absolutely nothing, right?" People quit their job. People sold their car. People wasted their money because they truly believed it was going to happen. I think, yeah, Judgment Day, right? The day came, nothing happened. Why did you believe it in the first place? That's like people believing in crypto scams. Like, you know, you're going to put your money in a crypto scam, get rug pulled, and be like, how could you do this? Yo, Big 25, tee up. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hard to tell. But if he's joking, he's extremely committed to the bit because he wrote a 200-page book on Adonatology. It's available on Amazon, and the book description claims one of the most influential books in the history of literature and recognized as one of the greatest literary masterpieces of its time. This book about Jesus and big butts. That's a pretty bold claim, especially since later on in the same description, it makes sure to note that the book contains beautiful black and white paintings of some of the most voluptuous female characters. Okay, this is just a big booty picture book. Maybe the best part of all of this is that King Adonis is frustrated that people misunderstand his religion. He says that Adonatology is about advocating for women with big butts, and he even says specifically Brazilian butt lifts. But then says that people saying that Adonatology
Brazilian butt lifts aren't natural butts. So you're praising artificial butts?
is just worshiping big butts is fake news. So what are you worshiping exactly? You like ass, that's fine. Why are you acting like that's not the whole point? But according to him, we're not worshiping big butts, we're worshiping King Adonis, because of course we are. Surprise, surprise, that vision he had that told him to create a religion for women with big butts also told him that he is God reincarnated. That's always how it goes. If you join a cult, just know that that dude thinks he's Jesus. So go in safe and wear a crucifix. This next cult would probably hate Adentology. I can't say the big butt cult. They would hate them. They're called breatharians, and they believe that people can live without food. That's right, they think we can all be skinny little twigs that merely nourish ourselves on a life force energy called prana. Even though
Yeah, no. Science said that's not possible. You can only go for so long before you can die. It's not realistic.
they're vaguely using ideas from ancient spirituality and the 17th century esoteric texts, the Breatharian Institute of America was created in the 1980s by a guy named Wiley Brooks. The guy made his rounds on TV talk shows claiming that he literally hadn't eaten anything in 20 years. But luckily, we all know that he's lying? You're lying, dog, unless you're doing enema shit, and even then, I don't think you can accomplish that. He argued that eating wasn't essential to human survival and that it was just a habit we were all accustomed to. According to Brooks, all you needed to survive was, obviously, breathing. Just breathing. Anyone who signed up for this is a idiot. In the diet fad craze 1980s, this sounded just crazy enough to work, and he actually started gaining followers. Even movie star Michelle Pfeiffer claims that she almost got coerced into breatharianism by her personal trainers. But
Bro, but these people are so stupid. Like, I don't understand how people believe this types of nonsense. You're just stupid, okay? You're just dumb. You're just dumb.
in 1983, this big got caught eating. Oops, might have want to done that in the bathroom, dipshit. Which shouldn't have been a shock to anyone, but this news really rocked all the really dumb people in the breatharian community. A follower caught Brooks in a 7-Eleven buying Twinkies, a hot dog, and a Slurpee. Which is just crazy to me that a guy who said that you don't need to eat food for like sustenance, and then he gets caught eating the most dog food on the planet. I don't know. I just feel like that's hilarious. I get caught eating a leaf, not Twinkies. But it's crazy that him getting caught eating ruined his credibility and not the whole not eating food to live thing. That should have...
Your connections to the past are waiting.
That should have been red flag number one to tell you he's a dumbass. But people just believe anything. Some people would quite literally believe anything. Doesn't matter how absurd it sounds. They're going to believe
People are so stupid. But don't worry, in the 90s, a new breatharian leader emerged. Jazz Muheen, real name Ellen Grieve, is an Australian breatharian who kept the practice going into the 21st century. She wrote a book called Living on Light and starred in the documentary called In the Beginning, There Was Light. And nearly 20 years later, at least 5 deaths have been linked to her specific teachings and writings. But she denies any responsibility, and in one case, blamed the death on one of her followers for lacking integrity and not lacking calories. Because that's why they died, pimp. You might think that after their leaders were caught eating fast food and their beliefs caused multiple deaths, along with the fact that it's, scientifically impossible, that breatharians would have disappeared into thin air. But there are still several hucksters out there that run online courses about how to become a breatharian, and if you believe in this I don't know, dude. I don't know. I want to say we can only walk as fast as our slowest members, but some people take care of themselves. I'll leave it at that. But with all these examples of cults and how dangerous they can be, you'd think we would be pretty good at stopping them. But it's not that simple. For starters, there isn't any legal definition of a cult, which makes it pretty tricky for law enforcement to, crack down on these things just from hearsay from former members or family members. And then, to make matters worse, a lot of these groups fall under the definition of religions, so the government has a long-standing history of not touching them. The First Amendment protects religious freedoms in the US, and obviously that is important. However, it creates a loophole that many cults can exploit. You can just call whatever beliefs you're pushing a religious thing, and that pretty much covers it. And the last part of complication is the fact that members of cults often and most often join voluntarily. And many abusive practices like unpaid labor, sleep deprivation, and isolation can prove hard to convict because they fall into legal gray areas. So unless you're able to infiltrate a cult and prove that people are being subjected to explicitly illegal practices, in the eye of the law, cult members are just people practicing their First Amendment rights. So I guess if I were to become a cult member, there isn't technically anything the government could do about it, which is interesting. I mean, maybe I am a cult leader. Stupid. I'll just, whatever. I would say, I don't know why I'm afraid to say it. Doesn't seem like you get in trouble for it. And it seems like people who lean into the cult of personality are the most successful ones out there. So welcome to the cult, Tuglets. Taylor Swift can do it. Donald Trump can do it. Jared Leto can do it. And they're not getting in trouble. I'm going to sell robes you got to wear the robes. I remember I said earlier, you don't have to put them on. You got to put them on now. I'm going to put them on the store. You wear big.
MAGA isn't a cult. Swifties isn't a cult. Donald Trump is about that bag, and Taylor Swift is about that bag. Taylor Swift makes dog music, and Donald Trump, you love him, you hate him. Some people say there is no in between. I'm in between. As long as he's not messing up my bag, which he has done, Donald Trump, stay away from my paper. I don't care what you got going on. I'm not into politics. Okay, I've made a couple of videos on politics in the past, stated in the beginning, I'm not into politics, and people still took offense to what I said. Like I know anything about politics like that. I just told you I'm not into politics. Relax. Like,
Tugg ropes. You go out and you
my
preach.
bad.
Well, Tugglets, I guess we're a cult. As a show of your loyalty, you need to recruit 2 new members. 2 new members. They can't be of your family because they'll try and tell you to stop. Don't talk to your family anymore. First rule, don't talk to your family anymore. Then you recruit 2 members. And each one of you, and then the person you recruit, and then they recruit 2 more people. We'll get into that later. It works. Get all the recruiters, and then you all have to, under this video, comment praise about me today. What about me do you find striking today? Is it my nice shirt? Is it my hair? You have to say something. Otherwise, you're out of the cult. And we love you here at the cult. Don't try and leave. Don't try and leave. What, your mom say that? She's a bitch. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. Please show up every Saturday. Otherwise, the other members aren't going to talk to you anymore. And shout out my extra Tugglet followers, whose names you will see ascend the screen going into heaven as we all will kill ourselves and jump on a comet. We're not going to do that, actually. You know what? We won't do that. That seems like a good way to end a cult. I don't want to end the cult. I want this to go on for a long time. No killing ourselves. I don't know if you have to bleep that, Chris. I don't know if they're going to let us say that. No more unaliving. Just sex. We're gonna go heavy in the sex.
Okay.
Yeah. That's gonna be sick. I don't want to.
Okay. Read the Daddy Tugg is posted. Let us feed Tugglets and Tuggers. Tuggs, you couldn't run an ant farm. Tugg wouldn't be able. It's not a call to wait. Okay. I wanna come with something. All right. Glorious. Oh wait, glorious. Watch it. Glorious. What the hell? My glorious king. Wait. My glorious king. You're looking awful. Why can we? Wait. Strikingly beautiful today. Can I just not spell beautiful? Beautiful. Beautiful. I spelled that right. Beautiful. It's saying it's wrong. My glorious king, you're looking awfully strikingly beautiful today. Ah, that must be it. You must be Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves. Oh, Keanu. You must be Keanu Reeves. Reeves. Relatives, I must say. It's fun in the family. Okay. Wait, family. Okay. Wow, this is such a long outro. What am I doing this for? What am I getting from this? What am I gaining from this? Why am I doing this? Ah. Okay, outro time. If you want to support me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comment section what you think. Give me recommendations in the comments. If you want to support me membership wise, $2.99, $4.99. If you also want to support me, follow the Twitch, follow the Instagram, both links will be in the description. With that being said, I'm gonna wait till I need an outro, so I'm gonna wait till 34 minutes. But I need not an outro, I need a thumbnail. Do I thumbnail this? I might cult leader. Oh wait. Wait. Oh my god. Yo! Friends, hit me up, sponsor your boy. I post almost every day. Listen, I'll take for 100 videos. I will mention y'all for 100 videos every time. All I need is $1,000. Come on now. I ain't asking for much. Come on. No, in fact, I'll do $100, and I'll always mention y'all for 10 videos for $100. Come on now, I ain't asking for much. I went past 34 minutes. Oh wow. There's no way somebody's still watching to this point. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till 35 minutes. I already got my thumbnail. So yeah, I got nothing. Let me see, what is the next video I could possibly react to? Let's see, what is the next video I could possibly react to? Ooh, there's that one. Okay, okay, 35 minutes.